You've been arrested. Maybe you've been granted bail either by the police or by a magistrate's court. But there are restrictions on that bail. What activities can you do? What normal day-to-day activities are you prevented from doing while you're released on bail? Here to answer that question is Camilla Rents, a specialist criminal defence solicitor from OB Law.
Good morning. Thank you, Daniel. Well, that's right. People often find themselves subject to bail when they have either been arrested on suspicion of committing a criminal offence and released from the police station, or if they've already been charged with an offence and bailed to attend court. The starting point to understanding what bail is this. It is basically a promise that you will turn up when and where you are supposed to. So bail is a duty to return to the police station on a certain date at a certain time, or to return to court on a certain date and at a certain time. If you are on unconditional bail, that is the only obligation you are under, to turn up. Anything else you are allowed to do, as long as it's not an offence in itself. Whether it's going on holiday, moving home, you can get on with your day-to-day life. There are no additional conditions to your bail. You just have to turn up when you are supposed to. Conditional bail is different, however, in that the obligation to turn up still applies, but there are further restrictions that will either prohibit you from doing something or require you to do something. And depending on what stage your case has reached, either the police or the court can impose certain conditions if they believe there are substantial grounds that you may not turn up when you are supposed to, or that you might commit further offences while you're on bail, or that you might contact other people involved in the case. The conditions are designed to deal with the specific concern that the police or the court may have. The most common bail conditions, in my experience, are these. If the court or the police are concerned that you might contact someone involved in the case, you could be prevented from having contact with that person. And the bail condition will usually prevent direct or indirect contact. So what does that mean? It essentially means you cannot have any contact whatsoever with that named person. So that includes passing on a message through a third party, phone calls, text messages, sending flowers, liking a post on social media, writing a letter, anything. Any contact whatsoever would be caught by direct or indirect contact. Now, if it's a case involving a couple, for example, with children, the bail condition can be worded so that contact with the children can still take place. So it might say, for example, person A is not to contact person B directly or indirectly, save for contact via person A's parents in order to arrange child contact. Now, the other question that also arises other than what constitutes indirect contact is, what if the other person is seeking to make contact with me? What do I do then? Well, the obligation remains on you not to have any contact. The other person isn't subject to bail conditions. If they approach you in the street, you walk away. If they call you, you cancel their call. If they send you a message, you don't reply. It seems unfair, but they're not the ones who are subject to bail. If the contact persists, then it might be worth, if you are sure that you've done nothing wrong, contacting either your solicitor if you're represented to ask them to make a note of it, or contacting the officer dealing with your case so that that person can be approached and told not to make any further contact.
As well as a condition restricting who you can have contact with or who you can communicate with, are there any other common bail conditions that you come across?
The second condition that is common and often elicits questions is a residence condition, so one that requires somebody to live at a particular address. This may be where the police or the court are concerned that you're not going to turn up when and where you are supposed to, and so they want to be sure of where they can find you. If that is a concern, you may also be required to, for example, report to a police station on certain days at certain times, or to abide by a curfew. The point being that the authorities will know where they can find you if you don't attend court. The question that often arises as a result of that is, can I go on holiday if I'm on bail? Well, in each case, it's necessary to consider what conditions you are subject to. If you are required to live at a certain address, then that will prevent you from going on holiday or leaving the country if it requires you living elsewhere for a period of time. Likewise, if you're required to report to a police station every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, for example, that will prevent you from going on holiday during a time that covers those dates and means that you cannot attend the police station when you're supposed to.
From my extensive knowledge of United States law, taken almost exclusively from TV box sets that I watch, I know they have a system over there called bail bonds, which is if somebody is offered bail, they have to put up an amount of money, a surety, often in the 6 or 7 figure range. And if you abscond, not only will you be chased through the hills of Nevada by a grisly ex-cop who will eventually catch you, but you will also forfeit the bond that was put up on your behalf. Is there anything like that over here in the UK?
No, we are not in the US. You cannot buy bail in England and Wales. What can be offered is a security or a surety, as that involves a person lodging a sum of money with the court or promising that that sum of money will be available. So if a person does fail to attend, if they don't turn up to court when they are supposed to, that sum of money can be forfeit to the court. But there's not a set amount. The court will take into account the means of the person offering the surety or the security, and they will consider how much it would hurt for them to lose that money.
If you found this video useful, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified of all new Explainer updates on UK law. I'm Barrister Daniel Barnett. Big thanks to Camilla Rents from OB Law, a criminal specialist defence solicitor who guided us on this question of what can you do and what can't you do when you're on bail. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.